This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining me on Stockbox today is Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very good. Thank you, Paul. Very good indeed. It's good to be talking to you again following an announcement that the company has made around the Australia copper gold acquisition. So this is a new acquisition in Western Australia. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, well, we've been running with this for a while. We announced originally an option agreement back in January. And after that agreement was released to market, we became aware of certain additional properties. So the first option agreement was over two, one granted license, one application. And then we became aware of three additional opportunities in application to make a 5-project/license package. And we thought, this is one of those unique opportunities where we could bundle everything together and do it in one go. And that's what we've done. It's in the Patterson region. It's an area that has seen significant exploration success recently with Rio Tinto and Winu and the Javieron project for Greatland Gold that's driven the value of Greatland Gold up dramatically in the London market. So all told, we put our thinking caps on. We found a deal structure that would work for all parties. It's quite unique in a number of different ways, but it's a close working relationship we've established with the Australian vendors. And we're quite excited about this. It's another one of those strategic entrance into a high-profile area.
It certainly is a high-profile area, yes, and Western Australia's got a lot of history there with mining, and not just small mining, huge mining. It's an awesome place to look out on the Google satellite view for sure. Lots of interesting things going on there. So you have taken a huge swathe of land here, or licenses here, which is similar to what you did in Victoria and in Hemlo. Is there any rationale behind taking that kind of slam dunk approach almost?
Yeah, well, we obviously have made it clear that we want to be a company of considerable scale. And in order to do that, we need to have the best projects. And those projects come in principally two categories. To use your slam dunkism, we can take a strategic footprint, which is what we've done recently with the Schreiber Hemlo project in Ontario, Canada. Which is what we did with Red Rock Australasia, the joint venture vehicle that we have with Red Rock Resources in the Victoria Goldfields. And now we've done it again effectively with the Patterson, where we have effectively acquired or will acquire in various stages a whole strategic package. It doesn't always run that way in terms of the opportunities available. You look at, say, Silver Peak in British Columbia, Canada, and that was a very specific project. Focused around the former high-grade operating silver mine in times past. And you never really know until you get presented with an opportunity how best to play it. In this case, it was definitely go down the strategic package route and do it all in one go. Okay. Now,
of course, as well, you mentioned the GGP, that's Greatland Gold. It's one of the biggest success stories of the AIM market, really, in the recent years. A lot of people know the story, very familiar with it. And you, of course, as well, must be familiar with Greatland Gold because you were instrumental in sort of the earlier stage of that company's development into this area. So you obviously like what you see in that area. Do you feel a kind of repeat of Greatland Gold coming on, maybe?
Well, we'd like to have a great success story. It's funny because when I did the refinancing and restructuring of Greatland Gold back in April 16, I was CEO of Metal Tiger. I did it alongside Andrew Bell, who was then chairman of Greatland Gold, and we put some money in from Metal Tiger into Greatland at 0.1 pence, can you believe, given that stock since the Javieron discovery in the Patterson has increased to in the 30s pence per share. and is now just above 20 pence per share. So a dramatic turnaround, and it just shows what can be achieved if you get the right projects in the right area. Now, of course, most of the work on the Javier on projects has occurred over recent years and long after I left the business, after that restructuring and refinancing was done. But without a shadow of a doubt, there's an element of deja vu, and you're going back in with a similar concept, a similar model, and you've got to believe that you can, make lightning strike twice, and that's the same in any exploration project. And we've got to be sensible here. You can't compare directly one project with another because every project is unique, really. Albeit you can from time to time draw some similarities. So yeah, let's see where this one takes us. It's certainly going to be interesting, and we've certainly gone about it in a slightly novel way from a commercial perspective.
Yes, okay. And so what are the plans then, Paul? Because the RNS does say that you're going to pretty much take it straight onto the market, give it its own listing. So how much involvement will Power have, and why are you taking this approach?
Yeah, well, our model allows for flexibility. So we have effectively pipeline of opportunities feeding into Power that comes from various different sources. And for lots of them, most of them, if not all of them so far, we've taken internal development as the key route. So we've done exploration work, corporate development work, and we make a decision at that point whether to carry on internal exploration to build the value of the project in-house, or we look at joint venture opportunities with third parties, or we're looking to spin out into their own listed vehicles certain of the projects. In this case, we felt this was a unique package, and the best way forward for it was to use some of our corporate skills and capabilities, align with the team in Australia who have immense knowledge of Australian exploration, licensing, corporate matters, and to expedite the route to market for this package, to create yet another Australian vehicle out of London, or Australian exploration-focused vehicle out of London. And we think that that's the best route from a value generation perspective for this opportunity. We think it will draw lots of interest from investors. We think it has great potential from an exploration and development perspective. And so really, why hang around in this case? Let's get it straight through into the listing route without any delay.
Okay. So just a final question then. You've done your due diligence. You're fairly familiar with the area and the success of companies like Greatland Gold in that area. You're taking it straight onto its own listing to hopefully get it, as you say, another gold listing on the London market there. What can investors look forward to seeing newsflow-wise from this, going forward?
Okay, so because it's all been done at quite high speed in terms of paperwork and documentation, we've got to come to the market with further information on the exploration rationale for the project. These are exploration projects at the end of the day. So there needs to be more information put out there about what the plans are on the ground. Okay. As we move through the process toward the listing, then we need to update the market as to the corporate side and what's happening corporately with the listing, what our plans are, what the next steps are, so they have some visibility as to what we're doing. And we'll do that as well. So as with all the Power projects, I would expect that there will be a regular news feed out to market to explain exactly what's going on, what the potential is, and where the value points will be for us as Power Metal, and ultimately, of course, for this new vehicle as it goes into its own listing on the market.
Okay. Well, Paul Johnson, the CEO there of Power Metal Resources, thank you very much for your time, giving us some more information around the RNS today on the Australian copper gold acquisition.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.